Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. I am running a little behind today, but I definitely need to adjust my camera. It's a little blurry. Hi, Kathleen and Michelle. There we go. No more blur. Might take a minute to unblur on your end, but we're clear now. I literally forgot my laptop was not up here anymore, so I had to run all the way back downstairs, find it, and get it all set up. Hi, Shannon. So today we are going to stream. I did put out a poll about what people would like to see more of, and the winner was Inktense. Not surprisingly, I know there's quite a few people that love to learn about Inktense. I love Inktense. I really need to use more Graphitint though, so I might start doing some more Graphitint stuff too. Basically, if it's water soluble, I'd rather color with it, aside from Prisma, of course. Hi, Mona. Hi, Lisa. Okay, so funny enough, we're working in Johanna Basford's Magical Jungle. Yes, I did the page or started a page from another Johanna book last week, but I just felt like doing something fun and bright because it's so like dreary out here. So the page I picked was this one here, and it just so happened to be next door to one I did with Inktense back in 2021. I was like, wow, that was a long time ago. So I was like, this would be kind of fun, see how my skills have improved. I can already tell you I used way too much water. But so I thought that would be kind of fun. I'll have a 2021 Inktense versus a 2024 and all that. Oh, thank goodness I do have a rag up here. I just realized as I sat down, I was like, oh shoot, do I even have a rag? Okay, so I am using the 100 count Inktense today. If you don't have the 100 count and you only have the 72, you can still follow along. Just pick something similar-ish. I do have a video on my channel kind of showing you the new colors that make up to 100. And to be honest, there are quite a few in the new set that are very close to colors in the 72. So you're not missing out a ton. Like, for example, see mango here? It's so close between the cadmium orange and golden yellow. It's not a big deal. And there's quite a few colors like that. That said, there are some that were totally worth it, and I would buy them open stock, like amethyst. That color does not overlap anything. It's beautiful. Same thing with Malibu. That video if you ever get a chance, because I do go through and tell you which of the ones I recommend snatching, and you really don't need this full 100 count set because there is some overlap. I, however, can't help myself, and I have a YouTube channel, so it's almost like you gotta buy them. So yeah, we will be using the 100 count set, but not necessarily every color will be a new one. So if you have the 72 count set, you'll probably be able to follow along close enough. I do intend this week to finish any color alongs on my silent coloring channel. It's just been a busy week for me, but we'll get there. Hi to everyone coming in. Okay, so I do apologize if I am slow on chat, but I will do my best. It's okay if you have the 36 count set. There's actually a good array of colors. And if you are comfortable layering your colors over or mixing them on a palette, you can make a lot of the colors I'm making. And really, today's focus is not necessarily for you to follow me along exactly. It's more so technique. So consider that. We're learning technique. But we're going to do some bright colors because I feel like being bright. I don't know. Then again, I'll end up I'll go towards like dark colors. Who knows? And I am doing the water brush method today. I typically use the alcohol colorless blender or the water-based Tombow, which are two of my favorites, but I've had a lot of a request to use the water brushes. So I have my Derwent one. I need to buy the 4-count set of the Derwent push button ones. It's on sale right now, actually. I think it's down to 17. I just can't bring myself to buy it yet because I have so many water brushes. Even though I like this brand, it's like I can't go and buy more, even though I want it. Does that make sense? And then one of my second favorites is Pentel. So I do have a Pentel one here. Hopefully I've got enough water in this bad boy. I do also have a few of my Kuretake Zig ones, but I don't think I'll be using these today. My favorites are by far the Pentel. I do enjoy the Derwent. I feel like it has some good water control. The Tombow ones are great. I just can't find where my Tombow ones went. So I'm a little bummed about that. I lost my Tombows. I need to organize my art studio. If you guys saw a picture of this mess right now, you would know why. I'm just all over the place. It's on my massive to-do list. But yeah, I do plan to also do a video about my favorite water brushes because that was requested. So we're doing water brushes today. Pentel and Derwent ones. Again, use whatever water brush works for you. It's all about water control, pressure, yada, yada. We all have our preference. All right. I did not pre-pick colors because I was running late, but that's fine because then you guys can watch me pick colors as well. I think I'm going to start with greenery though, and this is where the fun part is because the greens in the Inktense are oh so pretty. And like I said, I want some really nice ones. I'm thinking this page is going to be a lot of teals, blues, purple, pinks. So I'm going to go more with my blue-green greens as opposed to my green greens. So let's get some colors. I definitely want to use iron green. Let's see where you are, iron green. I also need to go through and reorganize my pencils because they all are out of order. It happens. All right, and I'll probably use some of these bright greens as well, mixed in with some of the more teal. I don't know. There's no plan here. But mallard, I do want my mallard. Where'd that one go? Now, mallard is also an OG color, so that always makes it easy. And then I want to mix mallard with, I think I'm going to mix it actually with, I'm going to go with a yellow. I'm just not feeling any of these yellows. Actually, I think I'm going to mix it. I'm going to mix it with my Malibu and see how I like that. Malibu is one of the new colors, just FYI. Okay, so that's one set. And then let's get some blues. I think I'm going to grab my dark aquamarine. Let's see where that one ran off to. Oh, there it is. Okay, and then see right here, all these are like so close. It's like, dark aquamarine. And I kind of want this one to transition into a yellow. So I think we will go, well, actually, this is why I need to pick earlier. Nope, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to grab my dark cerulean. So I lied on that. Like I said, you don't have to follow my colors exactly. Dark cerulean. And then I'm going to dive over to my mineral blue. I used to have the Color Family chart. Color with Claire made a great one. I just keep misplacing it. Mineral blue, and then I am going to jump into probably lemon. So let's grab lemon. There we go. So we've got a few colors. We'll see how I like those. I do need to sharpen just because there's some smaller lines here and I want to stay in them. So apologizing for that ahead of time. Okay. Like I said, think of this more for technique rather than following my colors exactly. You can follow them exactly too, but just go with the technique route. Now, I do have a little washcloth. When I use a water brush, you want to clean off your water brush quite frequently, especially when you're blending colors that really should not blend together. Or you're going, you have a light to dark thing. Now, when I color with regular colored pencils, I color dark to light. However, when you are activating Inktense, you cannot do that because your dark will bleed into your light and your light will be non-existent. So you do have to blend them light to dark. But when I place them down on the page, I still place them dark to light. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, let's start with this combo. So I've got my iron green, mallard green, and Malibu. Malibu is one of the newbies. Where do I want to start with this? I don't know. Some of these, this is her older work, so the leaves are always so different. Oops, I didn't sharpen these ones, did I? So I'm going to start with my iron green here. And yes, normally I would be using a colorless blender, but I've had some requests with a water brush. So that's why we're doing that. And I don't mind the water brush. It actually works quite well on Johanna's paper. Let's see. Yes, I love Inktense. They are one of my favorites. In the fall, though, I really want to use my Graphitint more just because they have that autumnal palette. But Inktense are really fun. But for some reason, I was feeling bright. I don't know. I wanted to be brighter. I know this green doesn't look very bright, but that's for later. But yeah, I just wanted something a little bit brighter today. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I know, like this page I did off to the side, these are all single colors. This is from 2021. I would just blend and bleed it out, basically. So it's one color bled out. It actually still turned out pretty cute, though. But I wasn't comfortable combining colors back then. Good times, good times. All right. So I'm taking my mallard, add a little here. Once you get the hang of Inktense, it's not as intimidating. Sometimes it takes a while. It took me a while. In fact, I bought them and then I didn't use them for a really long time because I got frustrated. And then it turned out I was using them wrong. So it's like, oh, light bulb moment. All right. And then the more comfortable you get, the more you can kind of do like some crazy color combos. You just have to always remember to wipe off your brush tip so that you don't accidentally make mud. Unless you want a mud color, then go for it. And then the other nice thing about Inktense is the fact that a single Inktense pencil will last you for freaking ever. I've had this same set, minus the new ones I bought, obviously, for 4 years, 5 years. You don't need to press hard. In fact, you shouldn't press hard just because if you accidentally damage the tooth, that stuff is not going to lift. But yeah, like you just don't use much. It takes very little pigment to get the color. That's what's so great about them. Also, the first layer you put down may not be your final layer. Depends on how much water you put down. So always keep that in mind. You can, in fact, layer. And then one thing that seems to always get overlooked with Inktense is the fact that you can actually go back over them once they're dry with your dry pencil and add some shading. That's not a no-no. You can use these dry. So, like, I do it all the time. I'll go back and add some shading with my dry color just because I want to, and I don't activate it. I do that a lot with Graphitint as well, just adds depth. You could also go back over with your polychromos or anything like that if you want. But just keep that in mind. You don't just activate them and run. There's a lot more you can do. I think I have a video on that. If I don't, I should have probably made one. I swear I've mentioned it in a video. Hi, everyone coming in. Sorry, I'm missing names. I'm focusing on color laydown. But hello, hello. I did see a few of you were really bummed that the Crayola portrait vote did not win. So I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to make a video doing a portrait in Crayolas because I know I got that new set, the Colors of the World set. May not be a live stream, it might just be a video, I don't know yet. But I will work on that for you because I know a few people had mentioned they were pretty bummed. So don't worry, it'll get done. Okay. Now, here's a few things with Inktense. One, when you're getting your brush wet, of course, if you haven't used your brush in a while, it might take a minute. All right, once your brush is wet, you put it over your hand, and it should just be like, I don't want to say damp because that's not quite right, but it shouldn't be so wet as to the point where you see like droplets on your hand. You should see clear watermarks, which is not going to show on camera, but you should see clear watermarks on your hand, but no more than that, because if you add a crap ton of water, you're going to have some muted ugliness going on. So that's the first rule. Second rule, have your little thing here to wipe quickly because you got to move kind of quick. Second rule, you go light to dark, and if I leave white space, I actually start in that white space because the white space was left there for a reason. This guy is a little fat for some of these lines. I'll prime this one too, just in case. Actually, where's my other one? It's like the mystery of the missing, whatchamacallit? Ah, there we go. My nice fine pointed one. I might need that. You should always have a variety of sizes around, especially if you're working in a book where it's got some itty bitties. So I'm going to use my Pentel for the itty bitties, but here I'm going to start in the light and just activate it and then slowly drag it into there, going out of the line a little because I had 2 cups of coffee. But I'm going light to dark and then wiping. I'm leaving that white space there. I'm going to have to turn this a lot because I can only angle to a certain effect. So I'm starting here in the white spot, and then I'm bringing it down. Then I'm starting here in the white spot and bringing it down. Sometimes I'll drag it across the white spot so it leaves a little bit of color. Kind of just depends on what I'm trying to achieve in that very small area. Whatever you do, don't go back and forth. Not unless you plan to wipe your brush. Because if you go back and forth, that's where your colors muddle together. So again, I'm just activating light to dark. I can tell my camera tripod is way too low because my head just brushed it. So sorry if I shake. I will need to fix that. Okay, so I'm going to grab this color here and drag it and then go back into the dark. I'm going to grab a little bit of that, drag it, and then whirl it around into the dark. I could probably zoom you guys in a titch. I don't want to go too much because I'm notorious for forgetting that I'm not on camera anymore. So, but I do want you guys to be able to see it. La, da, da. Okay. There. See, I went out of the lines a little there, but I'm not worried about it because the background is going to be covering that. So I need to activate this one here and then wipe my brush. Hopefully, I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way and also not let my shaky hands with coffee affect things. See, I'm just activating the light and then going into the dark and then wiping. And then sometimes you have to do some scumbling where you just kind of dab with your tip so that the colors blend together. That way you don't have like a clear line of where you broke off. So I'm going to go here. But if you're seeing puddles of color, did I say scambling? I meant scumbling. What the heck is with me today? If you see like puddles of color as you're activating, then your stylus is too wet. So you want to dab it off a little. The more water you use, the less pigment you're going to have. I'm taking this one and dragging it here. And then, of course, always make sure it's fully activated, especially if you plan to put a layer over it. But see, look at that, all blended. Oh, I did say scumbling? Okay. Because when I thought back, I was like, did I say scumbling? Or scrambling? Scumbling, scrambling? I said something, but I don't know if I said the word I meant to say. And then sometimes if I ever want to drag a color, I'll wipe a little bit of the pigment off my brush so that I'm not dragging a ton of it. This is not my preferred angle for this one right here. I might need to swap. And stay on camera. This is the problem with Inktense, though. I get super hyper focused. I'm like, oh, hi, everyone. You guys are still here, huh? So I will do my best to keep looking up. I can't look up at chat while I'm activating. There's so much pressure. You got to like get it activated because you don't want the lines. That's the biggest problem with Inktense is if you don't activate one section, you can get some lines, but there are tricks to fix that if you accidentally leave some lines. It's not the end of the world. All right, see? It is easy. It's very easy, I promise. Inktense should not be scary. In fact, they should be your best friend. I do need to sharpen this little guy though. But like, look at this pencil, right? I've had this for like 4 or 5 years, and I haven't even like used a third of it. That's why I love Inktense. It's so lovely. All right, I just need to get that one a little bit sharper. I rarely sharpen them unless I've got like these ridiculous little vines where I don't want to put as much pigment down. So I'm back to my mallard green. If you are following combos, I'll try to remember to say that. I lied. I need my iron green. And watch, I'm just going to go right back over it. You know why? Because it's going to bleed out. But that sounded kind of gruesome. I didn't mean it that way. The color will bleed out into the page. There we go. Woo. We're fresh off Halloween. Speaking of Halloween, I don't know if anyone did anything fun. Our Halloweens that just change every year. My son's too old. He and his friends still dress up and go trick-or-treating, which is ridiculous because they're those kids. But they go to a party and don't want to hang out with us. So it's now just us and the girls, but it was fun. My one daughter was a cow. My other daughter was a reindeer in a full-out tulle costume. I mean, it was just like nothing but layers of tulle and craziness, but she was adorable. But it gets so cold here that we can't, like, we'll go to a trunk or treat, and then we do like a little bit of trick or treating, but not a lot because it is freaking cold. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Yes, I saw that picture, Shannon. That was funny. So I am notorious. I don't dress up. If my kids absolutely, by the way, this is mallard green. If my kids force me to dress up, and let's face it, they're not forcing me. I'm in charge. I will wear just a shirt that says what I am. And so they were like, we want you to dress up like Sally from Night Before Christmas. And I was like, okay, well, then I'm just going to go to the craft store, get a shirt and some fabric markers and write, I am Sally. And they weren't impressed. So, disappointment. Oh, well. All right, Malibu. I'm just going to add a little bit here. Just remember, if you layer your colors, you are activating the layers of those colors. So if I were to take my Malibu and put it down here, you know, where I had that iron green, that is going to activate and combine and layer. So it's not like overlapped and gone. Whatever you put down does come back. All right, so we'll activate this little guy, big guy. It's kind of a big flower. I'm going to go this route first. Putting the color down dry is fine. That's where I can chat. But then when I start to activate, I'm like full on, must pay attention. Kind of like with coloring hair, only with coloring hair, I just tend to zone out. That's the problem with that one. It's not that I'm like under a time crunch or feel time crunched. I'm just like lost in flicking. Okay. And then the nice thing is, like I said, once this dries, I do need it to fully dry. It's not like with the colorless alcohol blender where it's pretty much dry within seconds. This needs to be dry all the way. And that includes if I were to touch the back of the page, I feel no wetness before I add another layer. The Johanna books are good, but you do not want a ton of water because it will pill on you. And once that happens, you can't add anything else. And then it just looks ugly. So keep that in mind. Like if you're doing this, one, it needs to dry all the way. So like touch the back of your page because it might feel dry up here, but then you touch the back of the page and it's still wet. So you don't want to add your next layer. And then you can go back and add layers if you want. But that's with the water technique. With the alcohol blender marker, it evaporates and dries so quickly, you can usually jump right onto the next. With the Tombow, you do have to wait a minute for it to dry. So I usually go back and add, I want my iron green. I usually go back and add layers way after the fact. I color it all up and then decide after. But say like I go look at this after it's dry and go, you know what, I want to add a layer of yellow. Then I just will wait till it's fully dry and go back and add some yellow. All right, and then I got my mallard green. I do like this mallard green color. It's really pretty. I wish Inktense had just like one more fleshy tone. Like if I'm doing skin tone, I actually use willow and I water it down on the palette for skin tone. But I wish they would have like some more fleshy peachish colors. Those would be nice. I'd be a happy gal. And I'm just gonna scumble that one in. Okay. Like I said, just dot it. This is a good technique with your neo colors as well. Okay. Do we have other leaves that look like that? Doesn't really matter. But we do have these guys down here. So this would be a good one too, because I've got this up here and then I've got some leaves down at the bottom. It's always good to add some balance to your page because it looks kind of off, especially with these circular pages, if you have like just one section, one color. So it's always good if you can add it elsewhere. So I got my iron green. I'll do these leaves here because they are pretty similar to the ones up there. That one might even work too. I don't know. I'll leave my combos out and decide. And I've got a few down here I'll do too. Let's see. Now when it comes to the black Inktense, I very rarely use that one. I have before, but man, that thing it's like a Sharpie, a liquefied Sharpie. You gotta be very light with your layers on that one. I can't, oh no, that's a gap. I was like, is that a fold? A gap? What is that? Okay. It is freezing up here. I might have to have my kids turn on the heater. Holy crap. My art studio is always closed off too, but I mean, it's got a vent. Oh, never mind. The vent is closed. No wonder it's freezing up here. I had it closed in the summer because the door would always be closed and then it would be like an ice box in here. I can't win. All right, now we're back to our mallard green. Gonna add a little here. Add some to this little leafy here. I'm half tempted to step on my stool and open the vent up there. My fingers are like half frozen. That is the one problem though with my art studio. The vent is right over my desk. So sometimes when I'm recording, I have to close it because it'll kick on and it can be kind of loud. Just this loud whirring noise. It doesn't pick up much on live stream, but when I'm recording for just my regular videos, I notice it. Like, oh, hi, air conditioner. All right. Like I said, I'm using very light pressure, which is not normally how I color, but you don't need a lot here. So this is that Malibu color. Again, that's one of the new ones, and unfortunately, there's not really a light blue in the older set that compares to it, but you can always just use a watered down blue because you can put these on a palette and water them down. Okay, is that one? Yeah, that one's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, there is no warm weather here. It is cold. In fact, we're under a frost warning. I was like, oh, for Pete's sake. It's November, though, so I guess we had that coming. Not necessarily ready for the snow, and I don't mind the cold as long as I don't have to go outside in it. with my son learning to drive, and he's going to have to learn how to drive on the freeway. Oh, that's going to be an adventure. I can't do it. I can't take him on the freeway. Nope, nope, nope. I can barely drive around town without having a semi-heart attack. So I'm waiting for his driving course to start. And some unlucky soul is going to have to take that job. It's funny, his girlfriend's actually been driving him around. She's got more patience than I do. Okay. And you can usually tell if your brush is too dry if it's not activating quite right, or even it's almost scratchy. Getting a little more water on that one. And that's the hardest part with Inktense. It's just water control. That's where, like, it took me a while to figure out water control. And then, of course, depending on the water brush pen you're using, they're all so different with how much water they put out. So that's the other thing. You could like master, say, a Pentel, but then you go and pick up a Tombow and you're like, well, what the heck just happened? All right. Because my Pentels are great, but they don't perform exactly like the Kuretake Zig. The Derwent are definitely unique because they have that push button, which I kind of feel controls it a little better than just squeezing. I like the Korilynn ones too. I keep meaning to buy more of those. But the Tombows are nice. You squeeze the Tombows, but I feel like they don't release as much water as other brands when you squeeze them. It's almost like they're beginner friendly in that regard. I need to turn this. Okay. Finding a comfortable angle while staying on camera. And then, like, if I have a leaf, saying I don't want to wait for it to dry, but I want to add a little more color. Like right now, I'm just going to take this Malibu, put it on the tip of my brush, and add it in. Take very little at a time, though, because it is extra concentrated when you pull it off the tip. And same thing here. All right, and then I'm gonna grab a little bit of my mallard and just kind of add. Just a few spots where I want it to be a little bit more, but I don't want to just bother putting a layer down. Okay, so let's grab my other colors. My blues. What leaves do I want to do next? So many leaves, so many colors I've got to use. Kind of liking these big ones, but I'm looking for things that are on both ends of the pages. Yep, those ones are okay. We're just going to pick and choose at this point. All right, so I got my dark cerulean and mineral blue. And then I have my lemon yellow. So this is one you have to be a little careful when you're blending them. On camera. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take my mineral blue. That is one of the new ones. See how this combo works out. And I'm taking lemon yellow. That's not, is that a new one? It is a new one. I took the label off of it. I was like, I don't remember that being in the old set. I'm gonna add some yellow here and there. I would recommend practicing and learning color theory if you're going to start blending certain colors, so that you know if you were to mix a blue and a yellow, what you would get. You could even make a mixing chart with your own Inktense pencils. That would actually be really fun. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that just gave me an idea of making a mixing chart. Man, let's see. If I did a mixing chart with 100 Inktense pencils, well, I would be here till next year. But that would be really fun. That would be really fun to do, actually. A full-out mixing chart. Kind of like you do with traditional watercolors. But overlapping my Inktense pencils. Oh, gosh. I've got so many ideas now. But the grid for that would be humongous. Yeah, next year isn't too far away. Good point. I don't know if anyone here who does watercolor, you'll know what I mean by a mixing chart. You basically, this is how you can kind of see how your colors play nicely with one another and or don't. But it's also a great method for taking just a few colors and turning them into multiples. In fact, I did it with Albrecht Dürer. There's a video on my channel. I did it with the 12 count Albrecht Dürer, and I did a mixing chart showing you how you could create extra colors out of those 12 just by blending them together. So you can look that up. But with 100 count, dang, that would be a monster mixing chart. And yet I really want to do it. That's pure insanity. But it sounds so relaxing. So notice how I'm very carefully activating the yellow and wiping my brush. And I am not allowing the blue to activate like over the yellow. I can push my yellow into the blue, but you can't go the other way. I also am purposely leaving some white space, but remember, this is going to have a background, so I want some natural white space in here for highlights. Let's see. I guess if I did a mixing chart, I would omit, no, I would leave the white because the white would be kind of fun. But I could probably omit the black because black isn't something you really use for tinting. Oh gosh, the choices. See what's happening here? Now I'm thinking of projects. Projects I shouldn't be thinking of because I don't have time, and yet I want to make time. It's like dark and rainy all week, and now I'm just picturing myself in my favorite chair making a mixing chart of Inktense pencils. Look what happens. Ryan! Oh, Ryan, we need to get on the phone. Okay. Ryan and I are both lovers of Inktense. Let's keep doing this combo because I like the way it turned out. All right, do we have leaves down this way? We could do so we can balance our page out a bit. All right, I got our, basically every color I'm using for this combo is from the new ones you would need to get. But again, they're so close. In fact, if you don't have dark cerulean, go ahead and just use, I would use your deep blue. And then if you don't have mineral blue, just use your green aquamarine. And then if you don't have lemon yellow, which is new, you could, I would actually go with your sherbet. So just FYI on that if you don't have these new ones. Because all three of these ones are the new colors. And the only reason lemon yellow doesn't have the little label thing on was because one day I felt like peeling it off, and I peeled off like 2. And then I was like, screw it. The sharpener will still sharpen them. Your sugar mama days. That's right. I sent you a set of Inktense. That's right. The sugar mama days. You crack me up. You made a new channel just to chat. See, that's true love. That's my YouTube husband, by the way. And he loves me dearly. He's devoted. Did you ever replace your Inktense, Ryan? I can't remember. I know you've got your markers. He did the prettiest marker page the other day from a kitten clouder. And I'm so jealous because I have so many kitten clouder classes, like, because I pay monthly and I just sit there and I haven't like taken them. So jealous. I need to take them, especially the marker classes. That woman is a freaking genius, and she's got an accent. I'm a sucker for the accents. All right, I'm going to get these leaves down here too. But yeah, I have like a massive backlog from Kitten Clouder. Not just the paid ones, but like the freebies you get as a member. So many. But I need to go and refill a ton of my Copics. Because I did that chart a while back and realized how many of my Copics need refills. I think it was like, gosh, 20 or something of them. I don't know. Ridiculous amount. So I'm waiting for like a sale on the refills. Maybe Black Friday. I don't know. But yeah, it was an interesting little adventure seeing how many of my Copics needed more love. All right, so we're going to activate this one. Again, leaving white space on purpose. If you don't feel comfortable with that or it drives you bonkers, don't have to. Oh yeah, there's the mixing video. Thank you, Shannon. Because I knew I created a mixing chart with the Albrechter for people who wanted to buy the 12 count set and get more colors out of it. I showed you how to mix and create it. I think if I did this 100 count set, I would not put them on the palette like I did before. I would just layer them on top of one another and call it a day. But yes, you don't actually need all of these colors. You can make even more. In fact, if I were to make a color mixing chart with these 100 colors, I will be ending up with more than 100 colors by the end of it. Some will be ugly because some won't, or just aren't meant to be. Some will be really pretty. Be kind of fun. Fun and tedious. That's apparently my go-to. I do miss using markers more. I wish my markers weren't all up here in my art studio because I don't always color, or I rarely color, I should say, in my art studio unless I'm live or filming. But I can't just bring markers down to my room. I'm going to color these leaves with that combo right here because that's actually the same. So that's the iron green, mallard green, and Malibu. Yeah, I do miss markers. They're fun. The only thing I get weary about is skin tone. I'm still not quite ready on the skin tone. One day. Maybe if I finish a kitten clouder class, I would feel better about it. She has plenty of them. I'm just like, oh, I can't. And I need to use up my Ohuhus. They're just sitting there. Okay. Yes, definitely thank you to Shannon. She finds all the links. She's like a link ninja. You'll be talking about it, and then she just pops up with a link, and you're like, dang it, woman, you're so fast. All right, mallard green. So we're going to call her the link ninja. So I think there was like one, it was a while ago, back when I was streaming regularly. A mod would go to grab it, and Shannon's like, ta-da! She'd pop up out of nowhere. She finds links super quick. That's an art form. I think that video is pretty old because it was filmed before my art studio was done. So it was back when my coloring desk was in my master bedroom, and that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Gosh, I don't know. How long have I lived here? It was a while ago. I know it was in the new house. I just don't know when. But I distinctly remember making it there because I was looking out the window watching my neighbor's cows. Of all things to recall. We actually have cows in our pasture now. They're not mine. They're our neighbors. But my neighbor was like, hey, do you want us to just like open the fence and let them roam between both? And I did not argue because they are natural lawnmowers. So, man, those cows have gone to work. They are eating every little bit back there, and it is glorious. Yeah, 2021. It was a while ago. I know I finished this studio not long after I bought this house. I bought the house in 2021, but it did take a minute. First, I had to kick my husband out because this was his man cave. And we had to finish our basement before I could officially move up here. Men. My art studio is more important than his man cave. I'm sure he disagrees with that, but still. Especially because I don't use my art studio very often, so I don't have a really strong argument if we ever like had a smaller house and had to debate who gets what. Probably lose that battle. Oh yeah, my neighbor loves it because her cows have basically eaten everything there is, whereas my yard is ripe for the taking. So she opened it up. The only thing is she can't put the goats back there because, well, my huskies love goats. And not in the way that they should, but they're huskies. So, yeah. They don't go after the cows because they're no idiots. They know those cows are too big. But if you put some goats back there, they will be digging and finding a way to get to the goats. So The goats had to stay on her property. Otherwise, my pasture would probably be fully cleared out with all those goats. She's got like 20 of them. But we've got 3 cows back there. It's funny. One of them is like a charger. He charges at you if you come to say hi to him. He's not a happy camper. But the other 2 are friendly. And when they first went back there, my dogs just kept staying at the fence like, there's something over there. We need to go say hi to it. I'll drag this down a little here. Hopefully my hand's out of the way. I should probably check. All right. I wish my huskies weren't always so hunter-like. Because I want to get goats for ourselves, but we know we can't. Just like we can't ever have like a little dog or cats or anything like that. Although no offense to cat lovers, no offense. I'm not a cat person, so I may have been secretly happy that you couldn't get a cat while you had a husky. My husband was pretty upset, and he didn't believe me about the cat thing until our neighbor's cat got stuck in our backyard, and all of our huskies, including the one that's incredibly nice and never hurts a fly, was ready to eat that thing. And then he was like, okay, I see now. But works for me. And we might actually be taking on another husky, which is not the best of timing, but a friend of ours has one, and their kids got cats, and they had a not so great situation. And so they were like, we need to get rid of the husky. And I'm like, why not get rid of the cats? You've had the husky for like 14 years, the cats for a few months, but okay, whatever. I agree. Cats are evil, and they're sneaky little things. Those things like jump out of nowhere. My cousin had this cat that was like possessed or something, or maybe that's just cat nature. I don't know. Either way, that thing freaked me out because you'd be sitting there minding your business, and out of nowhere, it would leap out and land on your head and then attack your hair and your scalp with its claws, and then just saunter off like it was no big thing, that it just mauled you. I was like, what on earth is this? Felt like I was living in a wild jungle. So yeah, I'm not, cats are stealthy little things that you just can't trust them. They're just not trustworthy for me. All right, let's get this one over here. That's what I said. I said, keep the dog. You've had the dog, because their dog is 14 years old. But I told them, I was like, if you're going to get rid of the dog, I'll take it for Pete's sake. And then they were going to punish the poor husky for going after the cats. And I was like, you can't punish a dog for one. They've never even taken it around cats. So that was their fault because they didn't know any better. And 2, they left it alone with the cats. I'm like, come on. But they were going to punish the husky for it. I'm like, that's not fair. I'll take it. I mean, the husky's 14 years old, but I don't care. It just irks me. Anyone who's watched my channel long enough knows I have a slight obsession and soft spot for huskies. I'll take in stray huskies any day. Sometimes too many. In fact, I was dog sitting a set of huskies the other day. So we had a whole bunch of huskies in my house. And let's just say my vacuum broke because it was too much fur. And I'm trying to like unclog it and hope to God I can save my vacuum, because I really do not want to have to buy a new vacuum. But that's my project tomorrow, to sit there and see if I can save my vacuum from having so many huskies in my house during prime shedding season. I might switch to my Derwent for these ones. Yeah, a lot of people out here have the barn cats. Those ones are feisty little things, though. Like, they're kind of just meant to be feisty. We have a lot of feral cats out here, too. But out where we live, a lot of people just dump their unwanted cats, goats. Oh my gosh, someone like literally dumped a goat. My neighbor found it and she's like, well, I'm keeping it, but it was a goat. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, we kind of noticed like where we live, we're the dumping ground of unwanted pets. So they just kind of stroll down our street and someone in the neighborhood claims them because we're all softies. But cats are a big one. Huskies. I found quite a few huskies out here. I found like this weird mixed breed puppy of some kind. I could not tell you what it was. And I feel bad, like, if I have to call animal control, because I'm like, yeah, someone dumped a goat. That was like the oddest thing I'd ever seen. Because my neighbor, we have this group chat, and they sent a picture. They're like, does this goat belong to anyone? And they're like, I'm afraid it was dumped. I'm just sitting there thinking, who dumps a goat? I mean, of all things. All right. Let's get some flowers colored because I need some flowers. All right. Let's get some. I want some purples and I want some pinks. Let's see. Fuchsia is a color you can never go wrong with. So let's find that one. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, I mean, if I come across huskies and they're not chipped, I'll usually keep them until I can find a place to send them. Because right now, 2 is probably what we got to stick to. My alpha is like starting to get snarky. She's had enough visitors. Let's see. I think I'm gonna pair that one with dark purple. Maya Bay. Where is my dark purple? Oh, there it is. Okay, dark purple. And then I want my mint leaf. Or should I do my teal? No, we'll go with mint leaf. Okay, so I got that combo there. And then I'm going to grab my, mauve and amethyst. Or should I do thistle? No, we'll do mauve. Okay, I got mauve, amethyst, and then I'm going to mix in some Malibu to that one because that'll look really pretty. All right, get some flowers done here. Let's work on these ones here. Let me sharpen. My handwriting? Oh, you mean like on here? Because it's pretty sloppy, but thank you. I can't write with a Sharpie to save my life. Luckily, that's not a requirement to survive. All right, actually, let's see this flower down here. So I'm going to do mauve, amethyst, and Malibu. These 2 are from the new. Mauve has been around for a while. I'm going to activate a small section first and see if I like it. So if you ever put Inktense down, while it's dry, you can erase it. But once you activate it, game over. You're stuck with what you got. Now I'm going to take my amethyst. But at least you can erase them if you put them down by accident beforehand. So just always double check. Like, wait, is that the color I want? Oh, the mint leaf would actually blend really nice in there too, though. I'm going to try and do a little bit of both, actually. So I'm going to add my Malibu in some spots. And I'm also going to grab mint leaf. I might need to sharpen that one. Let's see how I like that. I'm going to have to go back to my skinny water brush. Definitely going to have to add orange to this page. Otherwise that yellow is going to look just a little out of place. Yeah, I like that combo. It works. Need a little bit more amethyst up top, but I'm going to wait till it dries first. Also, never judge your Inktense while they're wet. They tend to look a lot different. Okay. So let's get this color down then. See, I'm using mauve, amethyst, Malibu, and mint leaf. And the one I just did, I'm going to probably go back over and blend out a little bit differently, but I'm going to wait for it to dry. And in her book, she has that color test page, so you could always go back there and play with your colors on those. I prefer to just throw it on the page I'm coloring on and hope for the best. So some of these I want to drag the purple out further. It's like a pinwheel flower. I didn't even decorate for Halloween, so I don't have to put Halloween stuff away, but I didn't decorate for fall either, so I really need to get my fall decorations up. I don't know about you guys. It's like November though, so I'm like, should I even bother? Because like in a few days, well, after Thanksgiving, because I got a rule, no Christmas decorations until the turkey has been served, but I'm like, should I even bother? Because I mean, gosh, Thanksgiving is not that far away. It's funny, every few years, my son's birthday falls on Thanksgiving, and this year is one of them. Because we were all sitting there, and I was like, it's been a while. I think this year is the year. And he looked it up, and yep, it's on Thanksgiving this year. I wish I had a birthday on Thanksgiving. Pie and turkey and gravy. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like multiple types of pies. Sign me up, please. But he's also turning 16, so I guess he's probably expecting a birthday party or something. Teenagers. Don't know if he'll be getting his license, though, because we have not started him in driver's ed. It's been so busy. So he'll be a little bit behind. Which sucks for me, because I really need him to have his license to start helping drive around here. So, got no one to blame but myself for that one. All right, let's blend these bad boys together. And I do the little circular motion just to make sure it all activates. You could just like swipe down if that's more comfortable for you. but sometimes that leaves some of your colors not fully activated. All right. Right now, my color palette looks all over the place, but it will come together. I'm going for all sorts of brights and fun colors. So, like I said, I'll be adding more oranges to balance out some of the yellow and the purples here. But it's just going to be very bright and over the top, which is not really my coloring style, but I just felt like doing it. All right. Tedious little petals here. And you can use this same technique with watercolor pencils as well, not just Inktense. Same thing, go from your lightest to your darkest. You can do the whole scumbling technique. Let's see. In fact, I'm probably going to go in and add some yellow on this one later. Like the center, I can make yellow. I could do like a mint green with some yellow. I just don't want to pull that purple in because that is an ugly color to mix with that yellow. Okay, I'm going to color some of these ones down here. Let's see, I've got my, let's see, what was this combo? Dark purple, fuchsia, and I was going to add some Malibu. No, I was going to add meat. Was I going to do Malibu or mint leaf for this one? Where'd it go? Fuchsia. Actually, the Malibu would look better. Is it that one I want to color? I kind of want to color these little guys over here. Okay. Get some of this. So this is dark purple. Which is not a new color. And neither is fuchsia. One of my favorite pinkish colors in Inktense is the color Thistle. I've always loved that one. Something about it. Very pretty. Okay. Now I got my fuchsia. Most likely, like the centers, I'll probably end up using something like Stickles or something, maybe a gel pen. Who knows? We'll see. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Malibu color. Ooh, this would be pretty for a galaxy combo. Shannon. Quiet, Shannon. I know your game. Don't make me threaten you later. So Shannon is Shannon is referring to my book that is actually published, but I'm too chicken to share. So, and she believes that I should tell people and share it. And I haven't gotten there yet, and that's what she's doing. That's what she's bringing up. These little spaces, you have to be really careful with these dark colors, and my pen is too wet. I can already tell. Bite it. I will share it. I was like, I will share it, and then I'm like, yeah, when? Later today, I will probably, maybe, most likely put out an announcement. So it finally went live yesterday, but yeah. I will share it. I just need to mentally get there. Writing a book and then putting it out there for everyone to read is hard. Harder than you would think. Honestly, it was easier to write the book than publish it. But part of it is it's just a very vulnerable thing because you're putting your baby out there, and yeah. And as a YouTuber, obviously, I'm used to wonderful feedback, and when I say wonderful, I use heavy quotation marks and sarcasm, but I'm used to the negative Nellies. It's just a little different with a book. I don't know why. It just is. Yes, exactly. Very vulnerable because you pour a lot of time into it. Like a YouTube video takes maybe an hour of my day to make, and I put it out there, and sure, I get snarky comments and all that, but my novel took a lot longer than that. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But yes, I will announce it today because I said I would. What time today? I don't know. It's going to be one of those moments where I have the announcement ready, and then I'm probably just going to make my son press the button so that I can be mad at him for announcing it. And then there we go. Oh, you guys are too sweet. Yes, I did let Shannon read it. Shannon was a ARC/beta reader because I needed someone to take a look at it last minute, and she was very, very kind enough to do so. And that woman can read. She read my long book in 3 days. So I was like, wow, you go. But I really, really appreciated it. And Ryan, you're too sweet. And Shannon as well, because Shannon kept giving me her honest feedback because I was like, just be brutally honest. Just tell me, does it suck? Do you hate it? Like, because that's the hardest thing is you need people to be honest, but at the same time you're like, oh, this is gonna suck if they're like, wow, this writing is awful. But she was really awesome. And honestly, I've been bugging her with so much stuff and she's been super supportive. So shout out to Shannon because honestly, I don't think I would have gotten it done in time without her sitting there going, "No, keep going. Keep going." So I really appreciate it. And the fact that you can read so much in a day. Yes, it's in my voice. Oh, but I gotta text you later, Ryan, about something and see if you catch on to something that's in the book. Will warm up your undercarriage. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a slow reader. I read fast, but I'm also an impatient reader. I don't know. Um, which is kind of hilarious because the books I write are rather longer because I like to do a lot of character and I wouldn't call it world development because it's in our world, but I think because I started by writing fantasy, I'm I'm more into creating more in-depth characters and not rushing the story. So my books are going to be a little longer than the usual 200-page quick read, but I wanted it that way because I wanted it to like feel a little bit more real and I don't know, not just be like wham bam done. So yeah. But I tried to yeah, it definitely has the snark and some lightheartedness because I don't know, that's just how I write. That is my personality. I can be snarky and lighthearted. So why not make that how your characters are? Yes, so if so I will give you guys a disclaimer and I'll disclaimer put a disclaimer when I announce it as well. If you don't normally read romance, there are spice levels to romance novels and God bless Shannon for reading through the spice. Oh, that was awesome. She read through it. What a trooper. So in my book, I actually do list the spicy chapters. So if you don't like spice, you can actually skip those chapters and you really won't miss anything in the story. I purposely put the spicy chapters on their own so people who don't like to read spicy parts can skip it and not miss any of the storyline. So that is in there. Um, for those who don't want that, like, don't want to read that stuff. But it does have spice in it because it is a romance novel. So just FYI. Yeah. Yeah, see, it's hard when you write romance because you're like, some people really like the spice. Other people are like, I don't. So I did in the beginning of the book, there's this page that tells you like, hey, keep an eye out. These chapters are spicy, but and then it also, if you want to just jump right ahead to the spice, you know exactly which chapters to jump right ahead to. Um, and then I will be making an Instagram post with the spicy chapters. And then later, I will actually release a fully closed door version of the book as well. So that'll be down the road after the series is done. But that way, those who prefer closed door, if you read romance novels, you'll know what that means. they don't have to worry about skipping anything. So there's that. But yeah, you just have to be comfortable with spice because there is some spice in there. But like I said, God bless Shannon who read it. So I do have it up on the Audible marketplace, and I am currently working on. So I have 2 narrators now that have reached out to me and they're auditioning. It is going to be done in duet. But yeah, basically the original version of the book is going to be done first, and then when I get the closed door versions done, they'll have their own Audible. So, because obviously I have to change up the book and the script and whatnot. But the closed door versions are going to be done a little bit later since I have to work on other books in the series. But I will be doing that. And honestly, Shannon is the one that gave me the idea of creating the original and then offering up a closed door version for those who prefer that. So I will be doing that because I like that idea. But right now, the original is what's up on the marketplace, and I really am going to be picky about the narrators because my main character named Violet, and Shannon probably can agree with me, has to be spot on. Like, she really needs it has to be perfect because there's just her character yeah. I'm going to be picky on that one. So yes, there will be a cinnamon version and a cayenne version. Right now, the cayenne version is out. I'll work on the cinnamon versions in my spare time, but I'm also still working on the other books in the series. But I'll eventually release them as their own like box set. You can get your closed door version in a box set or your cayenne pepper in the other. We'll go from there. All right. Come on, drag some of this purple in here. All right. I like that color combo. It's kind of pretty. Reminds me of like if I had a whole cluster of these, this would be a really good combo for hydrangeas. Okay, I can't. Yeah, Shannon said that I should narrate Violet. There's 2 reasons I can't. One, Violet is a little bit spunkier than my voice can reach. Not high pitched or anything. Just I don't know how to explain it. Those of you who know me well would know that I'm missing that factor. The snark I got down. The spunky. And then yes, there's the fact that I would be freaking laughing so hard if I tried to do it. So I can't narrate for myself. I had thought about it, but then also because I'm working on doing a duet narration, I would have to read it alongside like a dude that I don't know, and I would laugh even harder. Oh my gosh, it would be such a mess. I would just be bursting up. I'd be in tears. That's just yeah. Oh, no, yeah, I know we're in separate studios, but the fact is you have to work closely together when you're doing the duets, and I would just constantly ruin it because I would be laughing too much. Thank God I wouldn't have to sit in the same room with them. That would make it really awkward. But no, I can't narrate for my main character. I thought about it, and that's a big hard no. So yeah, this is mauve. Where's my dark purple? No, mauve is right. Mauve is right. Mauve is right. Okay. But I do have 2 females auditioning. I need to reach out to a couple male narrators as well. Problem is not all of them work or are willing to work in duets. So you have to find producers who are willing to, and that takes a little longer. So the audiobook really probably won't be out for a few months, just because it's going to take a while to find the right voice and then the right voices that will do a duet on top of it. Oh, I can write it. I could read it, but I couldn't narrate it. There's a difference between reading it aloud and narrating it. So, and that is where the difference is. And I would giggle. Especially over, and Shannon will know what I mean by this, especially over the book names. Shannon. I would laugh. So yeah, can't be done. There'd be too much editing on my end. But yep, I can write it. Most writers don't narrate their own books. Just fun fact. Because if you look it up, most of them are narrated not by the author, and there's a reason for that. Heck, half the things in there, I laugh just reading when I was editing. I'm like, that, huh. And then, of course, I would have to find a time to do that when my house is completely quiet and not have a husky in the background sharing its opinion. So yeah, it would never work. I could never be a professional narrator. Getting this color down. I can add a little more blue over here. Let's see, I think I want to take, because I want to add, oh, okay, I'll have some up there. No, I still don't feel better. Yes, you will be in trouble later. You might as well just turn off your Instagram notifications because you're gonna get a lot of pings. No, I don't feel better because I still haven't had to announce it yet. I'm gonna announce it and then go crawl into a hole. Just stay there. My husband's like, you should tell the family, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if the family should read that. So yeah, we'll see. My son actually came up to me last night and was like, can I read it? No. Never. Never in your life will your eyes see this book. Yeah, you didn't. If you posted a link, I might slap you. I will fly out there and physically do it. Yes, I am using a pen name. A few reasons for that. One, most authors never use their real names. unless they just happen to luck out with a stellar name for writing. 2, I actually had another pen name that I've used for a long time, but that one has been saved for fantasy novels. So I made a new pen name for my romance novels. Fun fact, Shannon, my pen name was actually what Violet's name was, and then I was like, no, screw that. That's going to be my pen name. So I took it. But yes, I am writing under a pen name. Oh, no, I forgot some. Let's see. I need orange or something. Orange or something. It is on Amazon. You can either buy the paperback. I ordered a paperback because I guess you should probably own a paperback of your own book, right? But also, if you have Kindle Unlimited, then you can get it on Unlimited. Otherwise, you have to purchase the ebook. What orange do I want to use? I really do like the sherbet color. No, sorbet. Sorry. My chicken scratch. I'm going to grab that one. No, so I only use water in my water brushes. I don't use alcohol. There's a few reasons for that. And I'm actually going to explain that because it's really important. For those of you who have seen me activate Inktense using a colorless blender, that's one thing. This is alcohol-based. However, you should not put alcohol in these. I know a lot of people do, but hear me out on this. One, you are going to release way more isopropyl alcohol than you are in this marker here. So that is a lot to inhale, which is not good for you whatsoever. But 2, you will actually release too much. And if you think water control is hard enough with, blending your colors and making them dull out, try it with alcohol in here and you will get a nasty effect. So 1, it's not good to inhale that much rubbing alcohol. 2, it does impact the colors a lot. And yeah, if you want to use the alcohol method, just get a colorless blender. You can keep refilling this with rubbing alcohol. I'm lazy though, and because I usually fray through my tips, I end up just buying, these come in a 6-pack, so I just buy them. But don't put the alcohol in your water brush pen. I know there's people that do that. I don't know how they walk away without major migraines, by the way, because I would be in some major pain. It's a lot to inhale and not good for you. So yeah, just my 2 cents. Of course, it's your life, do what you want, but from the health standpoint, and of course, just the whole logistics, I don't. Ooh, dark aquamarine would look really good with that orange. Where'd you go? Did I already take you out? No, I didn't. Okay. Yes, that'll look good with that orange. And my yellow. Oh, yeah. I like that one. Okay. And just for the record, I have indeed tried putting rubbing alcohol, should probably clarify that, into a water brush. And that hurt my eyeballs. But it didn't turn out pretty. Maybe I'll make a video and show you guys. I'm just going to have a lot of Tylenol on hand before I do that. All right, where do I want this orange to go? Because I need orange. It needs orange. Do I want to do it in this flower first? Do I want to try it on a leaf? Like, these are the problems of my life. We're going to try it on this little guy. Or these little guys. Or I don't know. Yeah. Okay. We're going to try it right here. because that's what we're going to do. I just want to see. So I grabbed my dark aquamarine, and I'm actually going to do an orange, blue, yellow blend. So FYI, when you're blending orange into blue, be very careful. But I can do a video kind of showing the difference between the water and the rubbing alcohol. I'll just have to prepare myself to not work the rest of that day. It's really strong smelling. Some people aren't as sensitive to smells, though. I, however, am definitely sensitive. Okay, and then we're going to do orange to yellow here. And in here. Okay. It's not worth the entertainment. I don't even know if it would be entertainment. I think it would be more of a good lesson. Although I might make a short on it because I do get that question a lot from people. And I have seen a lot of people comment to do that. And then I usually have to pop into the comments and be like, no, don't do that. So it is a good thing to kind of bring up, whether I actually do it on camera or just kind of create a video as to why you shouldn't. Because yeah, it is one that I see a lot of people ask because it's a valid question. I mean, you know, if you know about the colorless blender, you'd be curious if you could just put it in a water brush, and I totally get it. The only time I would say you could put it into something other than a marker is with that one Korilynn pen. Do I have that? Let me see if I have it. Hang on. I have so many water brushes. I found my Tombow, by the way. Okay. So the only one, oh, it's these ones. Only one I would put the rubbing alcohol into is this one here from Korilynn because it's got the marker nib style and it's not a brush, so it's not going to release like the rest. Oh, but there's my precious Tombow. I do love the Tombows. I don't know how many water brushes I own, but I have a whole drawer of them. I've got no name brands, Art and Fly, Korilynn, Tombow, tons of Pentel and Kiratakis because I had lost my Kiratakis and then bought a whole set only to find my Kiratakis like literally 5 minutes after they arrived from Amazon. So I was like, well, I'll just keep them. Because eventually they do fray and you got to replace them anyway, but the Kiritaki Zigs used to be my favorite until I started branching out to some others. Bye, Valerie! So I'm gonna get this yellow pulled out a little bit more here. I'm trying to get into the orange before I move into the blue, and then I'm wiping it very carefully because if you do not know, orange and blue make a really nasty, muddy, funky color. I don't even know what color you'd call it. It's just not pretty. Okay, so I'm going to get this yellow into my orange. For some reason, I have two of those Korilynn things. I don't know how that happened. Might have came from an art subscription box now that I think of it. I am going to add more blue once it dries, but I'm not going to touch it while it's wet because I don't want that ugly color. I have a plethora of colors. Does anyone else get the urge when coloring in Magical Jungle specifically to just go like hog wild with the color palette and just like throw caution to the wind and pick a ton of bright colors for other reason than to just do it? Or am I just the only one? Because that's what happens when I color in Magical Jungle. I tend to be like, you know what? I am throwing this together, and I don't even care. Like, it just, something about it. I don't know. I just want loads of insane colors. So I'm curious if it's just what it brings out in me in the book, or if it just inspires everyone to be super bold and bright and just not really even care about a color palette, just like roll with it. I'm really trying to not overlap that. All right, so I'm gonna grab a tiny bit of my orange here because I don't like how it blended there. There we go. I've got a little blue bleeding through, and that rhymed, but that was not intentional. I like that color. It'll need a second layer though, for sure, especially with that yellow right there. In fact, I could take some of my yellow here, just kind of put it on in there. Because the page is still wet, so I can't go over it with my pencil. Not unless I want my pencil to just get all icky. And then even right there, the transition from the orange isn't quite how I want it. So I can just pull a little bit off there. And then just kind of scumble it in until it looks more natural. Yeah, there we go. See, it's flowing a lot more natural there. Don't be afraid of the water. Honestly, water control takes a while to get the hang of, but once you do, it comes easier. You just have to practice. Inktense is not, they're not a pencil that you're going to master overnight, or even, you know, like you've got to keep going with them. But I really do like Inktense, numerous reasons, but it's just a lot of practice. It does have a learning curve. And then water control, of course, is the hardest thing. That's why I do have a video on my channel. I think it's called like the 4-ish ways to activate Inktense. And so I kind of show you all the options and then go from beginner friendly to more advanced. I recommend starting with Inktense using a colorless blender of some sort, and then moving to the water brush. And then once you master the once you master your colors and how they work together with the colorless blenders, then you'll find that the water brush is a little bit easier as opposed to just like diving right in. That's just my opinion though. And then also it depends on the water brush brand you're using, because every water brush is different with how much water it puts out. And just their overall control and like how their nylon bristles work. And I mean, you could go on and on with the differences. Good Lord, Shannon, how did you find that so fast? I told you, she's like a link ninja. I mentioned it and she's like, ta-da! But yeah, that video kind of shows you the way to activate them, and then you can kind of go from there. I put 4-ish because I offered a fifth method. Fifth-ish method. And this right here, what I'm doing is more of a, I wouldn't say beginner, because if I was doing a beginner tutorial, I wouldn't be blending oranges and blues together for you guys to try and master. I would call this more of a mid-level tutorial. If I wanted to do something more advanced, I would actually get into more deeper shading and a lot more crazy color combos, but I don't often do those ones on camera. I do those ones typically for myself just because those are a little bit more advanced, but I can always do them if there's people that want to learn. But yeah, when I'm mixing and matching colors, I try not to do anything too out of there. Like beginner level would be me like using 1 or 2 colors and just kind of dragging them out to create my effect. But more mid-level, I'm combining colors that still work together, minus the orange and the blue. That one's a hard one to do, so don't be upset if that one gets screwy on your page, because yeah. So here's where I'm at so far with my page. Oops, now all those water brushes I pulled out are in the way. Too much on my desk. Okay, so here's where I'm at with my page so far. I'm kind of just going to keep going with the colors. And like I said, I know it doesn't look very cohesive at the moment, but it will get there. Because here's the deal. So all of the colors that I have picked out and used on the page right now, I'm not going to add any other colors. These are going to be the colors for the rest of this page. So I have all of these right here that I've pulled out throughout our live stream. I'm not pulling anymore, and I'm just going to create combos using only these colors so that everything will tie back in together. Like if I added more colors, then it might start to get sloppy, but I'm going to be creating combinations off of all the colors I've already got. What I got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 colors. That's like tons of combos I can make. And then of course, always with the balance. Like I've got this combo here, so I've got that combo here. I've got these flowers here, so I'm going to have to do something with this combo somewhere up here. It doesn't necessarily have to be that flower. Same thing here. These flowers will appear up here. And then as long as I keep all those colors and keep them on the page and not just like clumped, it'll actually come together quite nicely. So that's just another way to make sure your page stays balanced for a fun fact. Hi, Emily. Were you lurking? Did I miss you? I missed a few hello. So yeah, that is where we're at today with our little Inktense fun. I am at my 2-hour mark, so that's usually about the time my brain sputters. So I'm gonna call it a day. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday and learned something helpful with your Inktense. And then yeah, I will make the announcement. Oh, so you were lurking for that. I see. Thanks for that. I will make the announcement sometime later today when I will do it. I will do it. Shannon has my permission to nag me until I do it today. There. So, thanks guys for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a good rest of your Sunday, and until next time, take care. All right. Bye.